Let's make some noise. Come on.
Yes, indeedy, Nick Foles. Thank you very, 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 very much, and welcome one and all. Welcome back to another rousing episode of The Final Word with MattyB here on the It's a Wrap Sports Network. With your boy MattyB on the call, your Wednesday night edition of The Final Word. It is great to be back here midweek. Hope everybody is having a pleasant midweek, as this has been a long week, man. It's been a long week, but I'm happy to be back. Happy to be back once again with you. No other place in the world I'd rather be than right here, right now, with you. And tonight, as the world turns, so does the Philadelphia Eagle saga, drama. And unlike other places, and tonight's show is titled, DANile is not just a river in Africa. It's not, folks. It is a legitimate state of mind for a lot of Philadelphia Eagles fans. That's right. DANile. I don't know, however you say it, we all know what it means. And there's a large swath of the Philadelphia Eagle fan base living in a constant state of denial. And tonight, as I reach out a lot of times, and I do it quite a bit. I've been doing it a lot lately. And I will extend my hand yet again tonight in friendship to those suffering from homerism. It is a disease that inflicts the mind, the body, the heart, and the soul. And I understand that. And I have pity on you. And I am here to help you. All you got to do is say the word. The hardest thing about seeking help is admitting you have a problem. And once you do, and you turn around into the wilderness, into the darkness where there was nothing, all of a sudden, I will be there for you. MattyB will be the light that shines for you to lead you out of that darkness of homerism. And tonight, again, I offer my hand in friendship to all those suffering from the debilitating effects of homerism. And we're going to continue the conversation because unlike other networks, I do not shy away from controversy, conflict, drama, reality. I don't shy away from it. You're not going to get that everywhere. You're going to get people who tell you that I'm all about listening to you. No, they're not. No, they have narratives they want to drive home. I don't. I have my narrative I want to drive home, but I will listen to yours. And I will offer my hand in friendship for those in denial and suffering from homerism. So we're going to continue the conversation tonight about that. The Phillies are making some news tonight, not player-wise, unfortunately, but MLB has announced that the Phillies and the Minnesota Twins will get it on August the 13th in Iowa at the Field of Dreams. So the Banner 2026, shaping up to be Banner 2026 Philadelphia baseball season, gets yet another feather in their cap. As we already knew they were going to Iowa, we just didn't know when. But MLB announced it tonight that they're going to be playing in August 13th at the Field of Dreams. For those of you interested, hotel prices right now out in Iowa. Now, it's funny because when I looked at this, I didn't know where to search, what city. I just searched Iowa. How do I know how Iowa's broke the hell down? And me and my wife found a hotel room about 50 miles or 25 miles away from the site for $70 a night. I suggest if you're headed out to Iowa for the Field of Dreams, you book your room today before the the news gets out to Iowa that they're actually hosting a game on August 13th. So make sure that if you're planning on taking the trip out to Iowa, which I don't know why you would, honestly, no offense to those who hail from the was it the Hawkeye State? No offense to you. I just never thought I'd ever set foot in the state of Iowa, but we're thinking about going. Tickets are not out, but they have released the date of the game. So August 13th, Phillies Twins at the Field of Dreams. Also, big news in the media world of baseball tonight. NBC has regained control and will be part of the flagship of stations that will broadcast MLB games in 2026. NBC's back in the fold for the first time in like 26 years. The vaunted NBC Game of the Week on Saturday was a staple of my childhood. Unfortunately, Tony Kubek, Vince Scully, Bob Costas are not, I think Costas is around, but the other two are dead. So we're not going to have the same crew, but, it brings back some memories. Netflix is also going to be in the mix, broadcasting MLB games next year, as well as ESPN's back. Yeah, I mean, ESPN and MLB were on bitter sides of each other last year as they were trying to renegotiate a contract, but they pretty much, I guess they hammered it home. They will also be part of broadcasting games. And, of course, Fox is also still in this. So I don't know how many people got their hand in the Major League Baseball pot, but NBC and Netflix are new to the show and new to the game, and they will be part of your Sunday. I know NBC is taking Sunday games next year, so they'll have the Sunday night game. I guess the Sunday night game from ESPN is going to NBC. I don't know what ESPN is going to show. Then you also have MLB that does network, that does games. So I defy you to not be able to find your baseball game on at any venue during the year. But that's big news as things are shaping up for next baseball season. We're going to talk some hot stove because we have a bunch of moves that we're going to get into. Nothing involving the Phillies, but some moves around Major League Baseball. Your of the night segment, your card review, and your day in Philadelphia sports history. All of that rolled up into our pretty little hour and a half, hour 45-minute bow. Ricky Deal, what is going on, my man? How you doing? I know you're watching. Mickey Delaney joins us from out west. Mickey, how are you? And he's also telling Ricky, how are you? Joe's saying, how's everybody doing? And yes, I think the phone lines will be open tonight. There will be time. There will be time for the phone lines to open up tonight. So we'll get the phone lines rolling. We'll get you on so you can be part of the magic that is the final word on the It's a Wrap Sports Network. So let's get it going. Let's strap it in, strap it on, strap it up. Keep your head, hands, and feet inside that car at all times, and let's roll with our day in Philadelphia sports history. Kind of a light day in the Philadelphia sports history calendar. I can only find one little thing that we can talk about on this day, November 19th, back in 2006. Early in a midseason 31-13 loss against the Tennessee Titans, Eagles quarterback Donovan McNabb, as he was running out of bounds, came up sort of grabbing at his ACL. It was later reported that he had blown out that ACL. Non-contact injury. I remember the play well. I remember watching the play live well as he was running out of bounds. Wasn't hit, didn't slip, just blew out the ACL as he was running out of bounds. Lost for the season. And in some aspects back then, and I guess it's still true today, that injury can still take a quarterback a couple years to come back from. But he was lost for the season, but Jeff Garcia would come in and do a more than admirable job backing up Donovan McNabb, leading the Eagles to the divisional championship and into the playoffs yet again. But the big story here is with that ACL injury, let's face it, it was sort of the beginning of the end of Donovan McNabb's time here. He was now officially labeled as an off-injured quarterback. Every year it seemed like something was happening with him that we missed significant time. And, of course, it would all come to an end a couple more seasons later when the Eagles dealt McNabb before the 10th season. So, again, not a sexy nugget of information, but Donovan McNabb blowing out his ACL against the Tennessee Titans, sort of signaling the end of what Donovan McNabb's time in Philadelphia was going to be, and kind of solidified his label as an off-injured quarterback. So there you go, man. There is your day in Philadelphia sports history. I told you it wasn't sexy, but it was okay. It was to the point. And the day in Philadelphia sports history tonight brought to you by, well, the network, the It's a Wrap Sports Network. Tonight, just me and the Pittsburgh Sports Desk. Tomorrow, we got a big day. Tomorrow's our Thursday, our TGIT. Thank God it's Thursday. Lineup returns. Birds Blast with Kyle Quinn and me will come on at around 7. Don't hold me down to that. I'm still working that time out. It could be earlier, as it usually is, or it could be at 7, God forbid. 8 o'clock, the Gridiron Weekly. I'll be back at 9 for my final word of the week. And then post-game Flyers Blues tomorrow. Mike Lauro on the call as we get our Thursday night rolling, getting you ready for the weekend. So, and then all the other stuff we got happening this weekend here on the It's a Wrap Sports Network. So make sure you're tuned in early and often. All right. So let me start by this. The last couple nights, we've been talking somewhat in deep about the Jalen Hurts and the Eagles, A.J. Brown, all the stuff that's going on with this football team that's really not necessarily on the field. A lot of the off-the-field stuff. And I think we've been having very good, candid conversations about it. I think that one thing that I like to pride myself on, whether you like it or not, is I have a narrative I'm driving, and I won't sit here and tell you that I don't. I do, absolutely do. I'm an entertainer, for God's sakes. Of course, I have a narrative, all right? But I'm not deaf and tone deaf to your narratives, and I like that debate. I like that back and forth, and I'll never shut down a debate. I'll never shut you off and tell you, yeah, I'm not going to deal with it. No, I'm never going to do that because that's not what we do here, right? This is a sports talk show. We talk sports. It doesn't necessarily have to be the sports I agree with. I'm going to talk to you about it. Today, I did something that I very rarely do these days, and that's I listen to other forms of media, other outlets, a few different shows today in my travels. And what I heard from a lot of the stuff was, let's bury our heads in the sand, not talk about the offensive problems. Let's revel in the defense. Let's enjoy what the defense is doing, but let's not admit that we have a serious problem on this football team offensively. You know, I heard some nonsense about what did I hear on one show? Comparing the Eagles to the 2000 Ravens. So here's the deal. As good as the Eagle defense has been playing, I'm not comparing them to Ray Lewis and Ed Reed. I'm not doing that. That would be an insult to Ray Lewis and Ed Reed. All right, this defense has not earned their stripes yet in that aspect. Is there a couple of Hall of Fame potential people on this defense? Maybe. Way too young in their careers to make that sort of assessment. Absolutely, and there's no comparison between the two defenses. And to also make the claim that, well, there wasn't really a clamoring for the offensive struggles of the Ravens in 2000. They were just enjoying the defense. That's a bunch of crap. I remember the 2000 Ravens. I remember listening to that stuff week to week. They were pissed off and frustrated as hell with Trent Dilfer in that offense. And to say that in any aspect, in any way, in any sense of reasoning, that the Eagles can ride this defense to a Super Bowl, it's got to be one of the stupidest takes I've ever heard. With the amount of football. Now, could they feasibly ride the defense to the Super Bowl and to a championship? I mean, I guess you could. But with the amount of football this defense has seen over the course of the last 10 weeks, with the amount of time that they spent on the field over the course of the last 10 weeks, we saw how the defense was breaking down towards the bye week earlier, a few weeks ago. We saw how they started the season off as this really hungry, energetic group in the first couple weeks of the season. They were very good. They were not as good as they are now, but they were good. But then as their time on the field began to sort of drag on game by game by game, they got worn down. Now, they've had added some pieces along the line to try to strengthen that resolve. I got you. They're playing well. But we have about 7 more weeks to go before the next bye week. Honestly, unless you're going to sit some players at some point, which you might do. But to sit here and just put your head in the sand and say, you know what, the Eagles' offense is what it is. We'll just ride the defense. That is the weakest take I've ever heard in my entire life. And it was coming from a Homer sect of the fan base. And again, I'm not, homers are going to homer, man. I get it. But to sit there with a straight face and try to be able to push that on you, on the intelligent-speaking public, it's got to make you upset, man, because it made me upset. And this was on a couple different shows I was listening to, not just one. There was a couple of them. So not only do I feel homerism is a problem and a disease that needs to be treated and can be treated, and I'm here to help you. Homerism also needs to be eradicated because it is the new cancel culture of this generation, right? The homers are so hell-bent on their narrative that they don't want to hear anybody else's, and they're going to try to shut you out and try to shut you down because of it. They are toxic to the fan base. Every homer out there is a toxic entity of the fan base. And I'm going to say it first. I've declared war against the homers years ago. But it's gotten to a point now where they gang up on you. They try to make you feel small and stupid, and they hide behind this moral narrative that they're right because it's a positive outlook on the football team. It's crap. And please don't listen to them. Debate them. Challenge them to a debate. Now, they're eventually going to shut you off because they're not going to have the strength to deal with it. Because they're not going to have the strength to constantly have to defend their idiocy from you, the real fans who actually have a mind to speak of. But to think that if the Eagles do nothing offensively to change this, that they're going to ride this to a Super Bowl championship is absolute lunacy. I don't know what kind of defense is going to be left standing at the end of this if they continue to play as much as they play and are getting absolutely no help from the offense. There's no way there's no way you're going to make me understand that or believe that. The other great defense of my lifetime was the 85 Bears, and they had a pretty decent offense that kind of helped them out. But to sit here and stick your head in the sand and tell me there's nothing wrong with the Philadelphia Eagles, or not that there's nothing wrong, that yes, there's problems on the offense, but you know what? That's okay. We'll revel in the defense is idiocy. And again, for those suffering from homerism, I am here for you. Just reach out and I will help you. Reach out into the darkness and you will find me standing there. This is where I live, in the darkness. Oh, man. Eagles trade Hurts. Why? They mad at Hurts. Who's mad at Hurts? Matt, YouTube is not working. Again, Ricky, I don't know what to tell you, man. If YouTube's not working, I'm sorry. Try to start your YouTube over. It is working. I don't know. Whatever. I am not the IT department of YouTube. I can't help you out there if YouTube's not working. But to kind of, again, jump off the conversation. And it's funny because I've defended Jalen Hurts through this. I think the Eagles are doing him bad, man. I think the Eagles are doing him wrong. Let the kid go, man. Let him play like the alleged elite quarterback he is, you know? And it was funny, too, again, going back to the homers. Two weeks ago, I heard a hardcore conversation about how Jalen Hurts should be in the MVP conversation. Are you crazy? Right? Are you crazy? They're not talking about that anymore. Just a short 2 weeks later. No one's bringing Jalen Hurts in the MVP conversation nonsense up anymore. But at least they're seeing past some of their lies. But to sit here and conversate about Jalen Hurts as an MVP candidate, just, again, it's the lunacy of the homers, man. They're sick. They need help. And I'm here to help them, man. I'm absolutely here to help them. But getting back to the Jalen Hurts thing, I personally think either you sink or you swim with them. Have the Eagles and Nick Sirianni painted this facade of Jalen Hurts? Have they given us a manufactured version of Jalen Hurts? Is he the product of the Eagles system? You know, one of the big points about Jalen Hurts is he doesn't turn the football over. A very valid point since the 2022 season. But what we're seeing from him, he doesn't turn the football over because he doesn't take the chances anymore. Now, again, I mentioned this last night. Do you want to see exciting losses or do you want to see boring wins? And that's an interesting question. It really is. I think there's a way to marry both of them. I think there's a way to get both of them working in-house together. And there's the problem with this Eagle offense. Once you boil it all down and you remove the Kevin Padula, Nick Sirianni, the walking wounded offensive line, A.J. Brown not running out balls, when you boil and the ineffectiveness of Saquon Barkley, are you left with Jalen Hurts? Is Jalen Hurts the one left holding the bag here? Is he the tipping point to all of this? And now I don't know if he's the tipping point. I don't know if he is truly the problem here. And what I mean by that is it because they won't let him be him? They won't turn over the playbook to him and let him just create offensively out there? I don't know if that's the reason. But when you're left with Jalen Hurts, and that's all you really got left right now. It's the only thing left that you can do with this offense is to do something different with the quarterback. Have a different game plan for him. Whether or not you don't trust the fact that he can run it or not, you got to try to turn it over to him. Because week after week after week, it's not working. It's the same thing, right? Week after week after week. I would say it's the definition of insanity to do the things over and over again and expect different results. That's not what the definition of insanity is. But it's pretty redundant, and it's not very effective. So to fix the Eagles' offense, they're gonna fall on first. If we had to line them up against the wall in priority of what needs to change offensively for the Philadelphia Eagles, 98.6% of them out there are going to say the offensive coordinator, which again, I disagree with. And nothing to do with the offensive coordinator. The offensive coordinator is a product of the Eagles system. He's a systems guy. He came from the Eagles. He's been with the Eagles for years, right? So they're getting mad at him for running Eagles plays, essentially. And as I said, they're not standing on the sidelines, twisting their mustaches, going, yeah, they're getting mad at us because we're running the ball over and over again right up the middle for negative yardage. Our plan is working. That's not what's happening, right? There's a reason why they're not being creative with their offense, and I don't honestly know the reason of that. Maybe it's all those factors that I mentioned. But he's going to be your number one scapegoat. Number two, it's going to be the walking wounded offensive line. People are going to blame that. Well, they're hurt. You know, they've been hurt all season. Lane Johnson is probably gone for the year. Probably won't see him again until the playoffs. How can you expect Jalen Hurts or Saquon Barkley to be effective behind a banged up offensive line? I mean, that's a legitimate argument. It is. It's a legitimate argument. The third thing they're going to blame probably is A.J. Brown. A.J. Brown not running routes, A.J. Brown airing out his dirty laundry out into the public, all that. That's going to be the third thing they're probably going to blame. And then way down the bottom of the list, and it's probably not even going to make many homers list, is going to be Jalen Hurts. And I think homers deep down do understand that the problem with this team, or maybe not so much the problem with this team offensively, rests with Jalen Hurts, but the remedy about how you fix it rests with Jalen Hurts. I really believe they know that and they understand that. And I don't see it any other different. I don't see it differently. What other options are there left? You've tried everything. Saquon is not going to figure it out in week 11. He's not. This team is averaging less than 10 points in second half of play during the season. They're 8-2, and they can't even score double-digit points in second halves on average in 2025. And they're averaging about 13 first half points. Truly the defense carrying the day. But Saquon's not going to figure it out in week 11. The offensive line's not going to miraculously get better in week 11. They're all not going to pop back to peak health in week 11. A.J. Brown is not going to become a team player in week 11. He's not. It's just not going to happen. Kevin Medula is going to keep calling plays. It leaves Jalen Hurts. He's going to have to be the one to fix it. Whether or not you believe he's the problem, and I think he's more of a problem than you think he is. I'm not saying he's all the problem, but I think he's a symptom of the problem. But if you don't let him be the cure, I don't know what other options there are. What do you do offensively with this football team? Where do you turn offensively with this football team? There's nowhere to turn. So if you're not comfortable with Jalen Hurts letting go and just being creative, then you're going to have to resign yourself to these types of games that we've seen pretty much all season long offensively, and hope to God that your defense can hold out the rest of the season. 7 regular season games, I believe, are left to play. There's 7, right? And then you got a potential bye if you get the first overall. Then you got, 2 games, and then you get to the Super Bowl. There's a ton of football left. 9-10 games of football left. That's a lot of football you're going to ask your defense to play with no offensive support. And with the firing of Kevin Padula or bringing in an offensive consultant, come on, what is that going to do? Offensive consultants are going to just get it more confusing. Now, think of it from Kevin Padula's standpoint, or his foxhole, so to speak. If you're the offensive coordinator and they hire a consultant, are you really going to listen to that guy? You're like, no, dude, get away from me. I know what I'm doing. You're going to like rebel against that. No, the hell with that. Leave that crap alone. Let him figure it out. Let him and Sirianni run this offense the best they can possibly do it. It really hinges on whether or not they turn the reins over to Jalen Hurts. Now, if you believe the Derek Gunn reports and the frustration that the coaches are having with Jalen Hurts and some of the players are having with Jalen Hurts, this is a deeper problem if this is true. And if they're essentially trying to let him do those things, but he just doesn't seem to get it. That's a deeper problem with this football team. And it goes back to my very, very first question about all of this. Why don't they trust Jalen Hurts? Why don't they trust Jalen Hurts and unlock every bit of what he can bring offensively to this football team? And if they don't trust him, then why in the hell did you re-sign him to all these years? Why are we stuck with him? And what are we going to do with him? So it's a very clear picture for me in terms of fixing this offense. Let Jalen Hurts, for good or for bad, or for up or for down, get creative and roll the dice. Because it ain't working the way it is. So that is my first rant. You guys are more than lucky to comment on that. Let's open up the phone lines as people have requested tonight. I am going to rock them out. The phone lines are now open. There's a link popping into all of our social media platforms right now that you can jump onto. It'll link you to the backstage here. I will put you on the air. We'll have some fun. We'll talk about whatever you want. Talk about this. Talk about anything that I brought up earlier or anything you want to talk about. Remember, I don't have to be able to see you, but I have to be able to hear you, and you have to be able to talk to me. So the link is out there. Make sure you jump on, and we'll continue the conversation. Is Jalen Hurts, which I don't think he is he the lone reason for the problems with the offense? When you boil it all down, is Jalen Hurts the problem with this offense? Or is it the factors I mentioned? A combination of an ineffective Saquon Barkley, a banged-up offensive line, Kevin Padula's play calling, A.J. Brown not running out deep balls because he's not a team player, and then Jalen Hurts. Are all those the factors that have caused this? Because goddamn, this team is there's a lot of money wrapped up in the offense for them to be scoring less than 10 points in the second half of football games. A lot of money and a lot of years. And should we stop looking for the problem and start concentrating on what the fix is? And what is that fix? We've tried it all. The only thing we haven't tried is cutting the training wheels and unwrapping the bubble wrap off the quarterback and pushing him out there and exposing him to the world and saying, guess what, Jalen? You wanted it. You got it. You got the big money. You got the Super Bowl trophy. You got the Super Bowl MVP. Now go out there and play like the elite quarterback that the homers think you are. Go show them. Show them you're that elite quarterback, because we're going to need your arm to win this thing. We're going to need your arm to get our offense back on track. I've maintained this from the very beginning. If that's what the Eagles offense is going to come down to, Jalen Hurts' arm, it's going to be really hard to win a Super Bowl. It really is. So that's my take on that. Let's bring on our first caller. Joe Hale joins us tonight. Joe, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well, Joe.
What's on my mind? Patul getting a head coaching job.
Yeah, I saw that.
Why?
Because he's an offensive coordinator and on a staff that's won a lot of football games. I think that's why. Just the reason why John Gannon was considered
Who wants? Doing good in Arizona.
I know, but he got the job. Everyone's looking for the next greatest thing there, Joe, right? Everyone's looking for the next best thing. And Kellen Moore, he's got a job. Shane Steichen got a job. Frank Reich got a goddamn job. I mean, it seems to be where they poach the most is from the offensive coordinator side.
Shane Steichen, Coach of the Year. Yes, you heard it first. Coach of the
Yeah,
Year.
it's
Comeback
trending in that
player,
direction.
No, or it could be Chicago's.
Here's something for you.
Somebody that listen to me.
What's that?
Go ahead.
Shane Steichen, coach.
Listen to me. Hold on. On a preview show, what did I say? The Bears were going to be in first.
You did. You did. But Joe, again, I said we have like 9 games left. I mean, the season's not over. It's nowhere near over. We're not even at Thanksgiving yet. There's a lot more that's going to play out.
So I got a question about that. Since you do the Birds Blast on Thursday and the Eagles play Friday, Thanksgiving, what is up with that? Is it going to be recorded next week?
No, I'm going to talk with Kyle tomorrow. Maybe look for it like on Tuesday next week. I'll let you know.
Okay.
Yeah, we're in conversations for a few shows that are supposed to air on Thursday. Obviously, the Gridiron Weekly is not going to happen. I'm not going to be on the air Thursday night next week. And
Gridiron Weekly was saying Tuesday.
That was the Pittsburgh Sports Desk. That's what they were saying. Now they're the same guys, but I got to talk to them and find out what they want to do with the Gridiron show. No, we'll have those conversations here probably in the next couple of days. But we're going to try to get it all in next week, with obviously Thursday being a holiday, and I'm not going to force people to work on a holiday. But yeah, we're going to try to get it all in either before Thanksgiving or on Friday. But the day after Thanksgiving, Black Friday, we got 2 post games, and so we got a pretty busy day that day too. So we'll get it all in. I'll make it all happen. 2 post
games. Eagles and who else?
Flyers, man.
I didn't know they. Okay.
Flyers are in.
Shane Steichen.
I said Shane. I said Shane Steichen, Coach of the Year. Daniel Jones, comeback player and MVP.
No,
man.
New England quarterback gets MVP.
Drake May.
Or you can even go Mike Vrabel, Coach of the Year.
Yeah, listen, again, there's a lot of football left, but it's funny too. I looked at the standings today. There's like 8 teams that are eliminated already. It's crazy. 8 teams have a 0% chance of making the playoffs. It's crazy.
And none of the Eagles are going to win any awards because, I think Jalen Hurts needs to go back to all Jalen Hurts. The scramble mentality, of Randall Cunningham.
Until they figure out what's going on with the offensive line, they got to do something. And I don't know why. Well, I do know why. They don't trust them. But the mentality of let's let the defense go out there and win these football games for us every week, that's not sustainable. They're not going to run that. There's way too much football left in the season. They're going to kill the defense. They're going to be worn the hell out.
You're right.
They got to help. They got to pick them up, man. Right. They got to pick them up a little bit.
Yeah. I want to talk hot stove. Were the Phillies in on that Wood player that got traded to Baltimore?
I didn't hear anything about them interested in Ward. I did not hear anything about that. Taylor Ward, the outfielder from the Baltimore Ravens or from the Angels, is now is now an Oriole. Batted 228 last year, 36 homers and 103 RBIs. I'm not liking that, Joe. I don't. That reminds me too much of Kyle Schwarber. All right, you know what I mean? Think about it. He batted 228, so he batted sub 230, and he hit 36 home runs. That's the Phillies lineup right now in a snapshot. I don't need another one of those guys, man.
So would you go out and sign Stone? Here's an interesting name. 97.5, Ricky Patel. Who's Arizona's second baseman?
Martell.
They're talking about trading for Martell and then trading Stott. I would do that in a heartbeat.
So would I. Absolutely. But Martell an upper part lineup guy. And I think he is. He's a 2-hitter. I could put him up there at number 2. I could actually probably lead him off too. He's a prototypical 2 guy.
Yes, but
And
if
we have
you
a
get
hole.
Schwarber,
We need a
go out and
2.
make a splash.
We need a number 2, and he would fit the bill.
Would you go out and get Kyle Tucker if we lost Schwarber?
No, I'm still set on Pete. It's Pete Alonso for me. I want a player that I can move. So Pete Alonso.
Nah,
I don't know.
he's not. I think. Go ahead. I also heard Alonso wants to be in Boston.
Well, listen, that was standing. You asked me if I would go out for what I would go for Kyle Tucker if we didn't sign Schwarber. No, I want Alonso. Would he be a plan B or plan C? Of course. But my plan A, if we don't go after Schwarber or bring him back, is Pete Alonso. He's more versatile. And honestly, getting Harper off first base is sort of like where he's headed anyway. Get Harper onto the DH side. Maybe Harper has to just worry about batting. Maybe he can be better. I don't know. I like Alonso. Alonso hits for power, but he also hits for contact. He gets on base as well. And it's not necessarily feast or famine with home runs with him. He does hit to all fields. And he's a right-handed goddamn bat in that lineup, man. And that's what I want.
I heard the New York people, because my buddy lives in New York, saying Marte to the Phillies on a 1-year deal.
Marte? Sterling Marte?
Yeah.
Old man River? The hell are we going to do with him, man? He's going DH, man. He's a DH. That's all he is.
He could be a bench piece.
He's 38 years old, but he's going to command big money. No, I don't want Sterling Marte. Maybe 5 years ago, yeah. No, not now.
I would take him on a 1-year deal, and it wouldn't be a lot.
But, see, you can't play him anywhere defensively. He's got to be a DH. He's a pinch hitter.
Okay.
In an era where pinch hitters are not used. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, he's better than Nick Castellanos, right?
Oh, I mean, but no, because Castellanos can play defense. So no, it cancels itself out with me. I mean, listen, Marte's a good player. I'm not going to, but to go out and spend money on him when you have the pick of a litter of different players, no, I'm not doing that. No, I'm not going to go after him. Now, if he's left on that scrap heap at the end of all this, and I haven't made any moves, or I have made moves, but there he is. Yeah, okay, maybe we talk sometime in around the time pitchers and catchers report, and he's still out there. Yeah, I'll be interested to hear what he has to say, but I'm not targeting him. He's Joe, I think he'll be 38 when the season starts. So I'm staying away from that.
I can see Matty coming and Bo Bichette coming on a 1-year deal. I would be all right with Bo Bichette off the bench.
I would be all right with Bo Bichette too, but where are you going to play him? Play him at third?
The bench. The bench.
No, you can't do that. Bo Bichette's got to play every day. You can't put Bo Bichette on the bench.
He could back up. He can back up like third baseman that everybody wants.
Aiden Miller?
The one? No, not Aiden Miller. The other one.
Otto Kemp?
Yes.
Reverse it. Otto Kemp can back up Bichette, but third base is kind of a hot spot for the Phillies. We got future plans there. Now, you mentioned a 1-year deal. I'd be okay with a 1-year deal, but Bo Bichette's got to play when he comes here. He can't sit on the bench. He's not. I'm not bringing him here for 1 year to sit on the bench, which is fine. I'll get rid of him in a heartbeat.
Get rid of Marsh's. I would love the Phillies to get rid of Marsh's contract. I want the Phillies to get rid of Marsh's contract.
Yeah. Again, he's under team control.
Raconis in right.
Raconis in right. Crawford in center. And I don't know who in left. I had Bader going in left, but I don't know about Bader anymore. But Bader, yeah, we'll go with Bader. Bring Bader back. Put Bader in left.
I like that.
Yeah. But the Phillies I think they heard the Phillies like Crawford more in left field, which I think is a mistake. I think it's a mistake.
That's what he played in Lehigh Valley, though.
He played both left and center. I watched many games where he was in center field. He played both.
Sure. Okay.
All right, Joe. Listen, you've used up your quarter, man. Tomorrow night?
Yep.
All right, my man.
Birds
We'll talk.
blast first.
What's that?
Have a good one.
You
Birds
too,
blast
Joe.
first.
Birds blast first. Yes. Birds blast first
All right.
tomorrow. All right, man. Joe troubleshooting me. Ricky Deal. Ricky, what's going on? Missed you last night, man. You didn't come on.
Go Eagles.
Go Eagles indeed. Ricky Deal. Eagles and Cowboys. The one thing we have not talked yet on the program here, Ricky, all week has been actual Eagles versus Cowboys. Got a football game in about 4 days. Does this game have, Ricky, when you look at this game coming up, do you see a potential trap situation for the Eagles against the Cowboys?
Mm-hmm.
You do. Yeah, I mean, down there in Dallas, the Cowboys have no business winning this football game. The Eagles are coming off of 2 very emotionally defensively charged wins, no offense. You also got the late November daylight savings time sun issues coming in from AT&T Stadium. That's going to be blinding those players down there. That'll be, and I think it's going to be a very sunny day on Sunday in the Big D. Ricky, I can see a potential trap for the Eagles on Sunday. What else is on your mind, Ricky?
Go Eagles.
Go Eagles, indeed. Ricky Deal, my main man. Ricky, we'll see you tomorrow. We got Flyers tomorrow night, Ricky. We got Flyers post-game. You're going to be tuning in?
Mm-hmm.
All right, my main man, Ricky Deal. My main man. I love me some Ricky Deal. Always Mr. Positive. I like Ricky because of that. I like Ricky because he can look past all the cynicism and all the criticism, and he can boil it down to his love of his Philadelphia sports teams. It's a part of my life that has long since died away, like my decaying black heart. My love, my innocence of just turning the other cheek, saying, it's okay, we'll get him next week, or it's okay, champ, we'll get him next year. I've just been through the ringer too many times, and I've just been taken to the closet one too many times, and I've lost that. And I really, and when I see fans like Ricky, and again, this is also, and I'm not saying Ricky's a homer. Ricky is not a homer. But when I see fans that have that innocence still about their love of their sports teams, and it also does take me back, of what the hell happened to me? Where did I go off the rails? But I don't want to go back to those days. I don't want to see I don't want to unsee what I've seen, so to speak. But I do remember those days like they were yesterday. And I remember the day it died. I do. I remember the day that innocence died for me. And it was in 2019. It wasn't like it happened when I was still a kid. I mean, I was a grown-ass man in 2019. It was like 6 years ago when it died for me. So, I wish it had. I wish I could still have that same innocent joy and love. But and Ricky, don't lose it, man. I'm telling you, you're better off not losing it. Mike Papernick. Mike, how you doing?
Hey, what's up, Matty?
I'm doing well, Mike. How are you?
I heard Bo Bichette's name out there, but from the first guy, I forget his name, but if he's not really good at fielding at shortstop and you want to put him at third base?
Well, they're going to have to put him at third. They're going to
why
have
not
to.
second? Why couldn't he play second if they got rid of Stott?
Do second. If they get rid of Stott, maybe you can move him to second. But if they don't get rid of Stott, Stott's a burgeoning Gold Glover at second base. If he's on the team, he's not going to play.
Now they mentioned Marte. You think he could play third?
Are we talking about Sterling Marte or Kel Marte?
No, Kellen Marte. Kellen Marte from Diamondbacks. Because he's the second baseman, but could he play third? I mean, he's a pretty sturdy guy. He's a big guy. He's a big guy.
Very good. He's very good, and he's a Gold Glove defender. Yeah, I think he could play third. Now, Joe Hale mentioned both Martes. Old Man River.
Yeah, I
don't
want the other guy. I don't want the other guy now.
I don't want the other guy either. But Kel Marte, yeah, I mean, there's an option there. But either way, you're going to have to clear out some of the space in the infield. I'm not saying that you shouldn't, but that means saying goodbye to either Bryson Stott or Alec Bohm. Again, I'm not necessarily saying not to do it, but that would be an interesting move, and it would be very, very cool to see.
Well, here's the thing. I mean, if somehow if they got rid of Bohm and could get Marte somehow without get rid of Stott, I wonder if you could put Miller at second, Marte at third, to let Miller get used to being up here in the MLB and not too much pressure at third base.
I mean, you could work on something like that. Don't forget, when Miller came out of college, Miller played third in college. And when he came to the Phillies system, they started converting him to a shortstop because at that time there was a need. Now they picked up Turner, and they've been bouncing him across the line. He has done time at second base as well. So they're trying to make Miller more of a jack of all infield trades. Again, I'm fine with that 100%. But just like he was saying earlier about bringing in Bo Bichette, but putting Bo Bichette on the bench, that makes no sense. Bo Bichette's got to play every day, and it's the same thing with Miller. When you do bring an Aiden Miller up here, when you bring a Crawford up here, they got to play every day. You can't bring him up here to sit him. You got to play him every day, and it's going to be about space and committing that space on the field to a Aiden Miller or Justin Crawford or a Otto Kemper, whoever. And that's where the leap of faith comes in. And I'm very interested to see Michael Papernik, either whether they stick with what they got, and I hope they don't, and I hope they make some moves. But that's the commitment of changing the DNA of this baseball team by going out and getting rid of the core players, the Stotts, the Bohms, the Castellanoses. That's what I'm waiting to see.
See, here's the other thing. I mean, like, if Bichette ain't going to take a 1-year deal, so that's something. Unless somehow nobody's touched him and it hits like end of February. Okay.
Yeah.
Now here's my only problem with Kellen Marte. You still got Robbie as manager.
Yeah, and that's
if
a big
Schwarber's
wild
back
card.
on this team.
Yes.
Look, if Schwarber's back on this team, Marte is not going to be at number 2 in this lineup.
That's the big
we
problem,
all know
too.
that. He'll bat fourth. He'll be the number 4 guy in this lineup, probably.
That's the big wild card problem with the Phillies. It's Rob Thompson and his allegiance. And that's one of the reasons why I don't want Schwarber back, because I want Rob Thompson to be forced to actually create a conventional lineup. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, I know exactly. I mean, that's why I think if they could get Bader, or they could get, a Marte, or maybe Stott, maybe try him at 2, but that's what they need. I mean, they can't. This lineup, I get it. It's the new thing, because of the DH, or like Ohtani's batting off. But see what the Dodgers did. If you watch what they did, Freddie Freeman batted second, third, fourth, and fifth with the Dodgers. They moved them around.
Yeah, they did,
they
because
moved them around.
And they did that. They had that. They had that ability because of the protection in that lineup for everybody. Everyone was protected. No matter where you put Freeman, he was still protected or protecting somebody at the same time. It was an amazing thing to see.
Now I want to talk about the Eagles real fast. With when I say this is the 2023 offense, what I'm talking about, one was 10-1 with a decent defense. This team is 8-2, whatever, I can't remember, but with a really good defense. And they had a good running game back then too. With did they have Miles Sanders that year or no?
In 23, yeah.
I think he was there.
23 was Swift.
No, Swift. So I think he was a 1,000-yard rusher. So I mean, it's like it's like the Mike Shanahan thing. You just throw anybody behind that offensive line, they're going to get 1,000 yards. But I don't know why if they never try a 3-step drop with Jalen. Like if they're so afraid of him holding the ball that long, tell him 1, 2, boom. Yeah, I mean, I know he ain't got the Dan Marino, Dan Fouts, that kind of gun to be shooting it out, but I mean, these receivers got to help out too. I mean, you're talking top 2 duo, and they can't get open. They can't. I mean,
Yeah,
it's not like Deion Sanders is out there, guarding both these guys.
and that's where the basis of this frustration, I think, is coming from. That Derek Gunn allegedly reported that's coming out of the locker room is that they work on this stuff during practice. They watch film, they break it down, and I guess that they see the improvement in practice, but then when he gets on the field during the game, he reverts right back to those old habits of patting the ball and then holding on to that football too long, and he can't get that ball into that window. He lacks, allegedly, I guess I'm taking this, that he lacks that self-confidence to drive that ball through that little window.
Okay. Do you think his shoulder that he had the problem with, was it last year or the year, whatever, he had that little problem with his shoulder, remember? Do you think that, could it be an injury they're hiding, or he's hiding?
No, I don't think this is an injury problem. I think this was long in the making.
Psychological?
Here's the thing, and not many people, and this is my theory about it all. In 2024, in those first 4 weeks, when they went 2-2, and they decided during the bye week to go run heavy, I think that was the breaking point for the Jalen Hurts experiment, so to speak, with Nick Sirianni and the Eagles. I think they really decided, listen, he's just what he is. We got to find him some help.
Okay.
We got to get the ball, and we got this bell cow running back in Saquon Barkley. Let's go to a run-heavy attack.
Well, how did he – I mean, look, we know the defense was 90% of the Super Bowl thing, but they took Saquon away for only 50-some yards. I mean, he threw 2 touchdowns, and there's –
Absolutely.
So that's what I mean. So I think it's psychological. I think it's more like the Markelle Fultz thing, like you can't shoot free throws. I think it's between the years with him when he's patting the ball. He gets out there. It's like maybe sit him for a game or two. Put McKee in. It can't hurt us. I mean, we got enough wins.
No, you got a big cushion. Why not? Yeah. Man, imagine that. Imagine if they did that. Oh, my God.
But what I was saying yesterday, here's the scary part of this team. Just think about this. Nick Sirianni is the only head coach in the NFL. If needed, he couldn't run a defense or an offense. He couldn't do either one. Think about that. Mike Tomlin could, Bill Belichick, all these guys, every coach in the NFL can. Not Nick Sirianni. He is the legitimate CEO. That's what he's that guy. He just runs, all their personalities. That's all he is. That's what's going to bite the Eagles in the ass. And I know he's got because he won the Super Bowl and they're going to give him life. But that's going to bite the Eagles in the ass because this Patula thing don't work. If it's going to fall back, which it normally does fall back on that guy, I mean, we got to look over to him to call the plays. This is going to have 2023 written all over it.
And that's my concern. And people, they attack me left and right when I bring up 2023, and they go so literal about it. Oh, well, listen, they had this going on, and then whatever. But the strength of schedule for the Eagles heading down the stretch is not like it was in 2023. Remember, they were coming out of that gauntlet, but it wasn't the gauntlet that broke the Eagles down. It was the games after the gauntlet that broke the Eagles down. It was the games against Dallas and Arizona and the Giants and the Commanders. It was those games that broke the Eagles down in 2023. So we have a similar situation right now with Dallas and Chicago and Chargers and then so on, Raiders and all those teams that we have left to play. I'm not going to sit here and say they're not going to win another football game and they're going to finish the season 8-9. I'm not going to say that. No. They're getting into the playoffs. There's just no way they're going to blow that. But, how you're going to feel about this team as they get into the playoffs and how you're going to feel about them when they have to go up against the Rams, the Lions again, maybe the Packers, those teams again. And how gassed and how beat down that defense is going to be is really the true measure of this for me. Okay, so Mike Laura was on with the out of box guys today. He mentioned something. Now I didn't think about till after the show went off. He said, I don't believe this, but are the Eagles holding back their playbook right now till they get to the playoffs, like not doing the RPOs and all that? I don't believe that, but I mean, there's stranger things in the NFL that you see that could happen. Patrick, if you believe that, then
No,
you're
I
not,
don't, but
not
you know
allowed
what
to
I'm
come
saying.
on this show ever again. Are you kidding? Mike Lotto, I
No,
love him to
I
death,
don't
but
believe it.
he's the grand poobah of the Homer Southwest Pennsylvania
That's my brother,
Society.
man. He's my
Yeah,
brother.
he's going to tell. Listen, I think what he says is partly true. I think they have shut down a part of the playbook, but it's not because they're saving it for the playoffs. It's because they don't trust Jalen Hurts with it. I do believe
Yeah.
that. I do believe they're not running the full playbook. There's no way. It's got to be then it's the worst playbook in football history. There is a big part of the playbook that they're not running, but it's because of Jalen Hurts, and that's what I think is going on.
Okay, so to get off all the Eagles this talk now, I read this thing the other day about Randall. Do you know he was sacked 422 times in his career with the Eagles?
Yeah. No, and against some big boys, Lawrence Taylor, Bruce Smith, those people. Yes.
I mean, and then you were talking about the Dallas, how it meant. I mean, I remember Vermeil getting hired. Yeah, I was like, I remember like when he came in. I mean, Vermeil didn't have great years. He had a couple great years. I mean, and then we had the Swamp Fox, and then we had Buddy, and then we had Rich, and then we had Ray Rhodes. I mean, they were years that were desolate. I mean, at least Rich Kotite got to the play. He won a playoff game. Buddy never did that. I mean, that's
Buddy brought the nasty back to Philadelphia football. He did do that. He restored what we had as a football town. He did, and you got to give him credit for that.
Oh, I do. I always tell my friends this all the time. Doug won a Super Bowl. Nick won a Super Bowl. Andy, he brought the franchise back from the grave. But Buddy Ryan will be a god in Philadelphia till the day I die.
He restored it. Yeah.
He
made us a football town again.
I missed that. I wish Buddy was around when he had Twitter and all that stuff. That would have been
fun.
He wanted to fight Jimmy Johnson. Him and Jimmy Johnson wanting to fight each other.
That's a good point.
But I think this game,
line of the day.
I think this game on Sunday is going to be like 24-19 Eagles. I think the catch game is the Chargers. The Bears game is because they're playing good. I think the Chargers, because the Eagles got to make a decision if they're up a lot. Do they keep playing these starters? Because it's getting near the end. You don't have to because they can clinch the division. So,
yeah. If they beat the Dallas Cowboys, their pathway to the NFC East is like another loss from Dallas, and that's it. I mean, but you're looking at if that's the case, right? You'd have 5 games left of meaningless football. Well, not meaningless, but because you're still playing for the conference, and that's just it. Unless they can lock up the conference, you're going to have to still play your starters, regardless of what you do in your division.
I don't think it matters if they're home or not.
I think it does for them.
I mean, no, because here's the thing: the Rams, the Rams, I think, are the only team that could beat the Eagles right now.
I think the Lions can do it. I do.
The Lions could do it, but see, you got Dan Campbell, Nick Sirianni, 2.5 over there. Wanting to run the ball 5 times on 4th down. So I mean,
fake punt. Golly, man.
Yeah. That's why I give the edge to the Eagles. I mean, and Dan's calling the plays over there.
Yeah, he is.
He's calling the plays. I mean, so. Well, Matty, I'm going to let you go. Hey, another good show.
Thank you.
And I'll be back I'll see you tomorrow or one day this week.
Tomorrow night. Now, we'll be back tomorrow, and then also the Birds Blast with Kyle Quinn will be on at some point tomorrow as well, Papernick. We will actually sit down and do the X's and O's and look at this. The one thing I haven't talked about is the most I've talked about the Dallas Cowboys was just that with you, as we've been too wrapped up with all the drama. But absolutely, Papernick, we'll see you tomorrow, man.
Wait, real fast. Jalen Carter's going to have a huge game on Sunday.
Yeah, the little revenge game, huh?
No, not just that. I just think he's healthy. The havoc. He's just, and you got I think BG's here that keeps him in like a little, keeps him a little in place. Yeah.
Well, he's gonna watch it. He can't get ejected from that game, and you're right. But I think he plays with a little extra chip on his shoulder on Sunday. I do.
I think he has 2 sacks. I think a fumble. I think huge game. He's going to just. I mean, it's going to be close, but he's just going to have a big game.
Yeah, we'll see.
All right, Matt.
All right, Papernick. Have a good night, man. Michael Papernick, everybody. Good conversation. And Michael Papernick does bring up a good point. I haven't broke down the Eagle Cowboy game at all. I've been too wrapped up around this damn drama. But tomorrow, here on the It's a Wrap Sports Network, I'm going to have no choice but to start breaking down the Eagles and Cowboy game, because at some time tomorrow, either in the early evening or in the mid-evening time slot, Kyle Quinn and the Birds Blast with Kyle Quinn will be back, as we will look at Eagles Cowboys and also relook Eagles Lions. And obviously I'm going to jump into the Kool-Aid with Kyle and find out what he's heard about the drama. Got to do that. Kyle's in the know and all that. So going to have some fun with that show tomorrow night. So make sure that you're continuing to watch here on the It's a Wrap Sports Network. And of course, Sunday night at around 7:30 local time, when the clock goes 00, be here for the Birds Flyby, the Eagle post-game show. Eagles Cowboys. Mike Lauro right now, I think, will be on the call. I'm pretty sure he will be. I haven't heard anything different. Somebody will be there, but I'm sure it's going to be Mike. So make sure you're tuned in for that as well. Let's get into our of the night segment as we're rolling to the back end of this show. Where is it? Let's do of the night. All right, the other night segment is where we talk about the future all the way to the year 2000 when it comes to our hockey and our baseball teams. And also we look at spotlight players as their seasons approach. Philly spotlight players, we'll start doing that in January. Isn't that awesome to thinking about literally 2 months from now, we'll be already setting the stage for the 2026 MLB season. That's just an awesome thought, man. It's an awesome thought. And again, a banner year in store for the city of Philadelphia when it comes to baseball. If you're not a baseball fan and you're living in the Philadelphia area, well, you better hold on, because it's going to be hard for you to deny baseball after this season, because you got, first and foremost, you got the World Baseball Classic, which will get you in the playoff mood right away in March, which dig in all that. Love me some WBC. Cannot wait. I think March 5th is when that starts. Team USA is putting their roster together. I know Corbin Carroll, Pete Crow Armstrong, Cal Riley, Paul Skeens, and Skubal, I believe, have already been named to the roster as they're trying to put together the team. How many Phillies make the team? We'll wait and see. Of course, was 2022. It was Schwarber, Real Muto, and Turner. Members of Team USA, but I probably not going to be all of them this time. But so you got the WBC starting in March. Then you got, of course, the All-Star festivities that are going to be here in Philadelphia. You got All-Star game, Futures game, the draft. You got all that's going to be taking place in Philadelphia this summer. Then you turn around. You got the Phillies going out and playing in Iowa at the Field of Dreams on August the 13th against the Twins. Then you got, backtracking a little bit, you got a potential that the Phillies will change their City Connect uniforms in 2026. So why won't they? MLB has a policy that says you have to wear your Connect uniforms for 2 seasons before you can change them. Well, my calculations are correct. They've worn those monstrosities 2 years now. And now they're going to go and change. For pure money, they should change them. I just hope they follow 2 rules with the new ones. Stay true to the Phillies colors, not the city of Philadelphia. I don't need to see that yellow and blue combination anymore. It's a terrible combination. Stay true to the Phillies colors and do not try to replicate. And I really fear they're going to try to incorporate this. Do not replicate the 250 anniversary of the country in this thing. I don't want to see American flag print. I don't want to see any of that. Just stay true. I mean, the Phillies colors are red, white, and blue anyway. You can incorporate, your homage to the 250 anniversary of the nation that way. You don't got to go over the top. I don't want to see stars everywhere in the uniform. I just stay away from getting too patriotic with those new city connects. All right. Stay true to the lineage of the Phillies. And I don't want to see maroon either. I don't want to see anything maroon. Don't go all maroon. I don't want to see those again. Stay with the red, the white, and the blue, and create a city connect that is true to the team. All right. Stay away from the city colors and stay away from over patriotic. I don't want to see the American flag throwing up onto these new uniforms. I don't want to see that. So big year in baseball here in Philadelphia. And then, not to mention that, with the new 2026 class for potential baseball Hall of Famers, featuring 7 Phillies or former Phillies as part of the inaugural vote for the class of 2026. There's a good chance some of our past heroes might find their way into Cooperstown this summer. Jimmy Rollins and Chase Utley being the 2 front runners in my mind. But you have Bobby Abreu's on that list. Hunter Pence, for some odd God reason, made that list. Gio Gonzalez, Bobby Abreu. Cole Hamels is new to the list this year. So there's a good chance there could be some Phillies representation in Cooperstown this summer. So 2026 has got all the makings of a huge baseball year for the city of Philadelphia. And I would not have it any other way. And I cannot wait for the baseball season to begin. I can't wait for the baseball season to begin every year, but especially in 2026. And not to mention that, of course, with the looming CBA problems, this could be the last baseball season we have for a while. So we got to make it last, and we got to go big on 2026. So here's the 2026. Let's get here faster than normal. All right, back to the of the night segment. Again, Flyers prospects. Sorry to jump right off that boat and back around to the Flyers, but we're going to talk about a Flyers prospect that is a very critical piece to what's happening to the Flyers when it comes to the Lehigh Valley Phantoms. I don't know if this guy's ever going to find his way firmly onto the Flyers, but he's definitely an anchor down there in Lehigh. He's part of the fabric of the Phantoms. He's a very productive offensive player for the Phantoms, but he just doesn't seem to be able to break free into that into what the Flyers want him, and that's Alexei Gendron, the right wing center, a fixture. I believe he's the captain down there. 5'9", 176 pounds, was a 7th round pick of the Flyers in 2022. He can pull the puck through opponents, make passes off walls, place the puck inside space for teammates, has decent off puck instincts, where to go and what time, and generally shows anticipation in the game. There is deception too. Big knock on Gendron is that he's just, maybe it's the size, maybe it's his overall physicality of the game. Just doesn't really, he hasn't translated over to this game yet. He's a 2022 draft pick. The production that they've gotten out of him from the standpoint of a minor league player is pretty damn good for a 7th round pick. But obviously, he's sort of like on the outside edge now of the future of what the Flyers are looking for. There's many players that have come around since him that have sort of passed him up. He might be what he is, and that's what he is. Maybe he's a tweener for the rest of his career, but I still have faith in him. I don't like his physical profile, of course. I think he's too small, but if he can somehow just step that game up just a little faster down in the AHL, get a little quicker off that step, he could be a really good asset on the 3rd line or the 4th line of a modern National Hockey League team. I have not given up on Gendron, but I am getting a little impatient with him. He doesn't see, he's firmly entrenched in Lehigh Valley, but his NHL prospects, his NHL ceiling seems to be slipping every year. So far through 13 games with Lehigh Valley, he's got 4 goals, 5 assists, 9 points, and a +1. So a very solid offensive contributor for the Phantoms. And that's your prospect of the night, Alexi Genrin for the Philadelphia Flyers, a firm fixture down there in Lehigh Valley. And there you go. Your prospect of the night. Ricky says, are we going to talk Flyers? But Ricky, we'll talk them tonight. Matter of fact, I'm going to bring up some of the Flyers. I have not given the Flyers enough love over the last few nights. I let to get rid of Bohm because of the whining. You and me both, Star Wars. I don't think Bohm and Castellanos will ever play another game in Philadelphia. I don't know how they're going to do it. The rumors are now that they've taken calls on, or no, they haven't taken calls on Castellanos. They've made calls in regards to trading Castellanos, and people are like, huh? Who? For what? Click. Something like that. I don't know. I don't know how they manage this. Now, it's going to be funny, though, with both of them under contract control, for 2026. Bohm will be, I think it's his final year of arbitration eligibility. He'll be a UFA at the end of this season, at the end of 26. Do the Phillies decide for another year? And I think this would be suicide if they do. They try to make some moves. They try like a Dickens to move both of them in the offseason, but no, they can't for some odd reason. And instead of suffering a cap hit on cutting Alec Bohm, or not cutting Alec Bohm, but cutting Castellanos, do they say, you know what, we'll play out the year and see where it takes us? That's suicide. Suicide for the players. They have to come back here because they have yet to face the music of their latest whining escapade. And they're going to have to face that music on opening day against the Texas Rangers, if that's the case. And I don't want that. I don't. Let sleeping dogs lie. Get rid of them. But at the end of the day, do you cut them if you can't move them and you get nothing for them? I wouldn't be against it. I would think that that's a clear sign to the fans of the Phillies that we're going a different direction with the team. Would not be against it. We mentioned Bo Bichette potentially coming here, right? We mentioned, or I want Gabriel Raconis Jr. playing right field for the Phillies next year. By the way, Raconis was added to the 40-man roster along with Andrew Painter. I believe the 40-man is up to 33 players right now. So they're going to be part of a look at in training camp or in spring training. So I am 100% with that. But we'll see. We'll see how ballsy Dave Dombrowski gets. Thank you, Papernick. We're not quite done yet. They whine just like AJ Brown. Yeah, we do a lot of whiners here, don't we, man? Good Lord, Star Wars, you just reminded me of that. We got a lot of whiners. All right, let's get into the hot stove real quick because there was some movement over the few days, and let's catch up on the hot stove. Alrighty. A hot stove, the latest and the greatest. Let's go back to yesterday. Brandon Woodruff, the starting pitcher for the Milwaukee Brewers, accepted his qualifying offer. He will return to Milwaukee for 2026, I think a one-year deal. So they're going to be able to continue on with him. Solid number 4 guy in your rotation, honestly, if you ask me. The trade that did go down that we've been kind of talking about, Steve Wilson, the right-hand pitcher of the White Sox, now a Devil Ray, or now a Ray, was traded for Gomes and Pereira. They're going back to the White Sox. Taylor Ward, again, Joe Hale mentioned him. He was also traded from the Angels to the Orioles for Grayson Rodriguez. Eric Orzi, a right-handed pitcher for the Rays, is now a Twin, as he was traded. They're trading. It's time. I don't know what the Phillies are waiting for because teams are doing it. He was traded to the Minnesota Twins for minor league pitcher Jacob Kistning. Chris Murphy, the right-hand pitcher, formerly of the Red Sox, is now a White Sox, as he's part of that. He was part of a trade that sent Ronnie Hernandez, a minor league catcher, back to Boston. Shota Imaga the talented starting pitcher for the Cubs, 9-8 last year, 3.73 ERA, 117 strikeouts, and a very valuable baseball card. Very valuable baseball card. Will be a Cub in 26. He accepted his qualifying offer. He'll return. Luis Guerrero is on his way to Tampa from Boston. The right-hand pitcher was traded for Tristan Gray. Trent Grissom, the Yankees free agent, accepted his qualifying offer, so he's staying in New York. So would he be the immediate replacement? Will they shift him to center field to replace Bellinger? Cam Devaney, an infielder, signed with the from the Pittsburgh organization, signed with the Hashina Tigers, I believe, of the Japanese league. Brendan Bernardo, formerly of the Red Sox, now a Rocky, was traded for minor leaguer Braden Ward. Forrest Whitley, formerly of the Tampa Bay Rays, bounced around the league for many years. Whitley was a good arm. I mean, but now he's on his way out to, I believe, the Japanese league, signing with the Yumamori Giants. Ryan Rolson, the right-hand pitcher who pitched last year for Colorado, is now on his way to Atlanta, traded for cash considerations, and just breaking recently, Raciel Iglesias is staying in Atlanta on a 1-year contract. So there you go. Some movement. It's starting to move slowly but surely as teams are making some moves. Still low-level type stuff, but trades are starting to happen. Players are starting to re-sign. Players are starting to sign, and yet nothing on the Phillies front when it comes to acquiring players. I'm getting a little bit frustrated personally. But there you go. There's our hot stove report. Probably the last one of the week. We'll probably come back to it on Sunday. Get you caught up of all the hot stove moves over the holiday weekend. Or no, this ain't a holiday weekend. Over the weekend. But there you go. I guess real quick, touching on the Flyers, we have not shown Flyer love since really since I did the post game the other night, which seems like a million years ago. The Flyers have been off for like the last 5 days as they wait. They'll be back in action tomorrow at the arena against the St. Louis Blues, wrapping up their season series with the Blues. And the big takeaway coming out of the weekend was the instability once again in between the pipes. And I was really interested to see if the Flyers would make any moves potentially to address that during this 5-day period. No moves that I've seen. They did make a minor trade the other day. Nothing significant really to talk about there. But, going forward with Dan Vladar and Sam Ersson, it's just, you really can't have... Can you guys hear me now? There I am. Sorry about that. We went mute there for a minute. I apologize. Anyway, but yeah, so Dan Vladar and Sam Ersson, are they really what we need? And that's the big driving force for me. And I'm not really sure how this team is going to go forward with the goalie situation and what they're going to do. Wasn't really secure about it going into the season, and I sure as hell ain't secure now. So the Flyers will be back in action tomorrow. And we got you covered here on the It's a Wrap Sports Network. Mike Laro will have you post-game on Thursday. I will have you post-game Saturday against the Devils as we'll get this thing fired back up. All right, let's get into our final segment of the night. Alrighty. The MattyB card review. Last night we talked about Shohei Ohtani and Series 1 2025 tops, card number 1. I think it's applicable that we bring up Series 2 2025 Shohei Ohtani. Again, he's one of those guys. It doesn't matter what year his memorabilia is from. You got to scoop it up, and you just got to do it. So tonight we're gonna continue the 2025 Shohei Ohtani Love Fest baseball card version here on the program with his 2025 Series 2 card. This was, of course, last night we showed Series 1, card number 1. This is Series 2, card number 400 in Series 2. Again, the classic, this is what the borders, there's nothing flashy about this card. It's a base card, but it's a cool looking card, and it's Shohei Ohtani, and it sells. Right now, currently, this card's about $5. That's pretty damn good for a base card Series 2. Pretty damn good for a potential future, definitely future Hall of Famer, but future all-time greatest player ever to play the game. Who knows? Again, you find Shohei Ohtani stuff, you scoop it up, you put it away, and you sit on it, and you wait to see where he kind of rounds out. And tonight, we're continuing the Shohei Ohtani Love Fest. Last night was Series 1, 2025. Tonight, Series 2, 2025. And pretty hot looking card. Again, not really fancy, basic as hell. There it is. But a very valuable card, anything with his name on it. So there you go. Shohei Ohtani, Series 2. Not much really there. Just following up on the Shohei Ohtani stuff. And that's going to be it, folks. We are at the end. We've come to the end of another stellar episode of The Final Word with MattyB here on the It's a Wrap Sports Network. Came on a little late again tonight as we followed up the Pittsburgh Sports Desk. No big deal. That's how it is. We roll here. I want to thank those guys. I want to thank everybody else that toils here in the minds of the network to create all this great content. Tonight was more drama, unearthing more drama about the Jalen Hurts situation. Tomorrow we will try to fixate on the Cowboys more. I will be on the Birds Blast some point tomorrow earlier in the day, and then we'll get back and talk more tomorrow night here on this show. But in summary, again, for a PSA to all the homers out there, I am your biggest fan. I am here to help you. Reach out, and I'll be there, and I'll get you the help that you need, because homerism is a disease, and it can be cured. And just like the show title said, denial's not just a river in Africa. It is a way that the homer part of this fan base copes. It's a coping mechanism for them, right along up there with excuses. Denial and excuses are top of the list when it comes to the homers. And, being in denial that it's okay, not that it's okay, but that they can actually win a Super Bowl with the way the offense is playing, is denial to a level that is truly frightening. They got to fix this offense. And I've offered what I think is wrong, and I offered what I think the fix is. What's wrong is the quarterback and the way the team uses him. Now, whether the team thinks that they're justified by protecting Jalen Hurts because they don't trust him for some odd reason, if that's the case, they got to get over that, and they got to let him create, because there's no other alternative right now for the offense. There's nothing. They've tried everything else, and it's not working. Jalen Hurts is the lone figure standing right now. Let him try to prove once and for all if he's an elite quarterback. I don't know why they haven't in the past. Well, I do. Then they see something about his game they don't like, whatever. But there's no more time for that. There's no more options left. You cannot expect your defense to carry you 7 more games to the regular season, 2 games to the playoffs, and then through the Super Bowl. It's not like this is week 17 and then the defense is now just rounding in the form. The defense has already played a ton of football, and they got a ton of football left to play. And I don't know who's going to be left standing by the end of this if they cannot get some offensive support. So to be in denial about the ceiling of the Eagles' success with the way this offense is performing is truly just a dazzling form of lunacy. So, but I'm here to help you. I'm here to help you break the chains of homerism. just reach out and I'll be there. Got into some hot stove stuff. Talked about the some of the moves made today and yesterday on Major League Baseball. Talked a little bit about the banner year that it will be 2026 in baseball in this town. And once again, the lack of movement by the Phillies is doing nothing so far. And we all wait for that first domino to fall, and that is Kyle Schwarber. So you guys enjoy the rest of your Wednesday. I truly hope you have a great night and a great tomorrow. And I'll be back tomorrow night to carry you into your weekend. You got a game Sunday, then Friday. Yeah, and that's a good point too, Star Wars. You got a game Sunday, and then you got to turn around for the Black Friday game against the Bears. Defense is good, offense is not. Can't say it any better than that. But we've gone past that, Star Wars. Now it's about how to fix the offense. Turning a blind eye to it and saying that it is what it is, and we'll let the defense run it out is just lunacy. It's homerism is what it is, and it's debilitating disease. God, I feel sorry for the homers, man. I really do. But anyway, enjoy the rest of your Wednesday night. Have a great Thursday. I'll see you guys tomorrow with the Birds Blast, and then later on tomorrow night with the Final Word with MattyB, our final episode of the week, as we'll get you ready for the weekend. Until then, take care.